Hello. I'm Isaac Greenwood, also running for Montgomery County Mayor. I was born and raised in Middle Tennessee. I worked my way through college at Ball State and Tennessee Tech here as a server, a delivery driver, working a million different retail jobs, liquor store, etc., to then build a career as a system analyst and data engineer. I moved to Montgomery County from Springfield with my wife and not yet daughter to build a family here and to try to build roots here. On the process of planning for my daughter, I wanted to get involved. I joined a lot of civic organizations, I volunteered my time, and I just wanted to make Montgomery County better and have the opportunities that I had growing up, where we don't currently, at least in my opinion, we don't currently have those opportunities. I want to work to get things done. After being with the civic organizations, I kind of came to the conclusion that they're fighting an uphill battle against a government here that is decades behind any other county of its size. And there's a lot of things we could do to genuinely improve life here if only we had the focus, the drive, the willpower, and the innovation to do so. Thank you.
What do you believe is the biggest challenge currently facing Montgomery County, and what specific steps would you take in this role to address it?
I believe the biggest issue facing Montgomery County right now is not growth, as some previous candidates have talked about, but a lack of forward thinking by our leadership. I think that's the root cause behind all of it. We've been kicking the can down the road for decades when it comes to our infrastructure, when it comes to planning, when it comes to housing. And a lot of candidates have talked about being proactive. We are past the point where proactivity itself will solve the issue here. We need to be investing in our future, and that involves free school meals for kids, it involves lighting our roads better, and it involves an affordable housing cooperative chartered by the county to allow the people here to afford the basic necessities of life, to be able to go out and go to church on Sunday without having to work a second job, to be able to afford daycare, to be able to afford to eat food that is nutritious and beneficial for their entire family. Thank you.
How will you ensure transparency, accountability, and meaningful communication with the people of Montgomery County if elected?
So to start, I've already started doing this. I built a survey directly into my website as part of the campaign to gather people's concerns. Every door I knock, every event I'm at, I'm gathering what people's issues are, to document them, to bring them before the county commission, to get things done around here. Just a list of policies that I think could benefit the entirety of Montgomery County with regards to transparency and accountability. The county front desk system, through probably the county clerk's office, where people could go with any concern they had and be directed, whether to the county, the city, or the state, to the government organization that they need to be directed to. Inclusive of that would be a ticketing system where you could check to see what the status of your ticket is. Summaries, not just recordings, summaries of county commission and committee meetings, having our election finances be published online, partnering with the RPC, the Regional Planning Commission, technologically so that you don't have to go to multiple different websites just to know what's happening. Making it so that the county commissioner in the district of a zoning change has more of a say in whether or not that zoning change gets implemented. Citizen advisory boards based on the locality of where a change or impact is happening. And public notices about upcoming road work, so I'm trying to speed through, having a county representative at all major community events. And the reality is, if the current mayor wanted to do any of these things, he already would have.
Montgomery County is one of the fastest growing counties in Tennessee. What is your vision for the county over the next 4 years, and what are your top 3 priorities if elected?
So my vision is starting with one where we have rebuilt trust in not just the government, but in each other and community. One where we are no longer encroaching on the county with the city growth. One where we are prioritizing what our citizens prioritize, what our residents prioritize. One where we are educating and empowering each other and the community as a whole. And then restoring a love of neighbor and a love for each other. I think that is very achievable in 4 years if we show that we are committed to it. If we show that we are committed to feeding our children in schools, we are committed to having our roads be safe and drivable and easy to transit, if we show that we are willing and able to provide affordable housing for individuals across the spectrum of their income, I think we can offset the antagonistic relationship that has been built up, not just between citizens and government, but between each other, that is fostered over the past, realistically, honestly, my entire life. There's been this relationship that has broken community at the seams. And I think we need to get that back, and we can. We just have to show that we are committed to doing the right thing.
As Montgomery County continues to grow, how will you balance new development with investments in infrastructure, public services, and preserving residents' quality of life?
So to start, I don't just want to preserve people's quality of life here. I think we should be improving it. I think just preserving it is kind of a defeatist attitude. That said, I also think there's a perspective that people have, especially people who are like fresh in economics, where they don't understand that the things that are the best investments for the county are also the ones that benefit people around here. So just as an example, the Rockefeller Foundation found that for every dollar spent towards free school meals, there's a 300% to 900% economic return for every dollar spent. That is an insanely good investment for any of y'all out there, I'm sure you know. A lot of these things, sadly, are not easily quantifiable, though. I think there's a lot of other investments in each other that we need to be doing, and at the end of the day, we need to have a solution where everybody here has the ability to go out, to have affordable housing, to have a hobby, to enjoy community again. I think to the other part of the question, I don't think developers should get the priority for the county tax budget. I don't think we should be prioritizing them over the affordability of people who are just trying to live day to day. Developers themselves should primarily be the ones paying for new developments.
The county mayor oversees the county's budget and helps set financial priorities. How would you approach budgeting, and what principles will guide your decisions when balancing competing needs and limiting resources?
Yeah, so I'm extremely frugal by nature. I grew up literally cutting coupons with my mom after dinner every night. We need to be spending money where it's needed and not on flock cameras and statues. I think in addition to that, there's a lot of efficiency gains that we could be having in the county. So for instance, during the freeze this year, I don't believe we helped out at all with the school parking lots. So the county highway department did not help salt or plow after the ice. And so the school system was out for 2 weeks. The school system then had to hire its own contractor to clean out their own parking lots. That's a loss of efficiency in terms of just the money being spent. It means kids were out of schools for 2 weeks, and it means that parents had to stay at home to deal with those. On top of that, I think a lot of times when we get into issues around the budget, people think of cutting services. And I think what we need to be doing is investing in cost-saving technology. So that looks like solar on the top of our school buildings to save on electricity costs. For those of you who are tech heads out there, it looks like a Linux-based technology suite instead of sending a bunch of money to Microsoft. All of those things would feed back into our budget and allow us to really make the expenses that we need throughout the county.
The county mayor works closely with the county commission, municipalities, schools, businesses, and community organizations. How would you build partnerships and navigate disagreements to move important initiatives forward?
So every job I've ever worked has had an element of this. As a server, it was navigating between the kitchen, dish, and my tables. As a manager, it was navigating between my employees and the customers. And then now I work with a lot of different business interests to make sure that the data that we are ingesting and sending over to the Fed is properly regulated, is properly detailed. And all of that requires facilitation. The things I've learned and taken away from that is we need to start by listening well, which means knowing what people mean, not just what they say. We need to empathize with people from whatever position they are coming at us from. We need to know what their priorities are and why they are approaching us, why they are dealing with us. It also means shows of good faith. We are a collective body of people here who, for the most part, want things for the common good. Sometimes we have to take a back foot and be willing to have a show of good faith in the other person. It means apologizing and owning up when we make a mistake or when we have an issue. And it means doing so before you are pushed to do so. And I think the final and the hardest thing for me to learn was that sometimes you need to cut your losses. There are sometimes organizations and people that do not want the best for the community as a whole. And you have to be willing to work around them or work without them to get the job done.
How will you ensure county government remains transparent, accessible, and responsive to residents? And what specific steps will you take to build public trust in your administration?
So I already talked about the specific policies I'd like to implement to make sure that we are transparent and accountable. Citizen Advisory Board, meeting summaries, the county front desk to allow residents to have a single place to go when they have any questions or concerns. So I think I want to talk a little bit more generally about what I think we should be doing to make sure that that is sustainable over more than just one administration. The reality is any system that gets built can be corrupted or neglected. It's something we've seen very recently. We've seen it throughout our lives. If we want to build trust, we have to invest in the genuine good of people here. If we want to build something long-lasting, we have to invest in, educate, and empower community itself. And what I mean by that is starting with affordability. Again, so people can go to church on Sunday instead of working their second job. It involves safety, so that people can trust their neighbors to watch their kid for 30 minutes if they need to, or go driving out when it's raining and dark and not be worried about hitting deer or being able to not see. And it involves investing in the future of our county through our kids and through job opportunities and things that allow people to look ahead with hope. All of those things are possible, but we need to buy in first. As the county, we need to be the ones to reach out a hand to people first and say, we are here for you. You don't have to buy into us.
And at this time, we'll do closing statements. Isaac, you can go ahead.
So firstly, thank you to BLK Clarksville. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you for everyone else who's helped set up this event. Thank you to y'all for being involved, for coming here on this Wednesday evening. I know a lot of you have probably seen a lot of your faces before, but being educated, being civically engaged is extremely important. I just want to thank y'all for doing so. I do want to also remind everyone the general election for the county is this upcoming election starting July 17th. And there's a lot I would love to be able to continue talking about. I never really got around to the housing cooperative and how exactly that would work, as Mr. Hutchinson mentioned. So if there's any additional questions or comments, concerns for me, please feel free to reach out. I'll be walking around, I'll give you my number, I'll give you my card, I'll give you my email, anything y'all would like to know, please feel free to talk to me, engage, etc. Thank you.